Hello, Gundam fans. This is Speedball Harlan today for you guys. I have you from the Gundam Side F and the Gundam Park. I have for you the entry grade 144 Rx-93-VFF new Gundam statue version. Now, for those who might not know what that means, in this case, this was a special reissue of the standard entry grade new Gundam in the FF recolor and, well, as you can see, upgrade, so to speak, in the special 1-to-1 scale new Gundam statue variation. And yes, this is a really cool variant of the new Gundam as well. It's awesome. I haven't seen the 1-to-1 version, unfortunately. It would be awesome to one day see it, but it is a really cool thing. Just like we saw with the Rx-78 statue 1-to-1 scale version, it is always cool because usually Bandai ends up releasing a Gunpla variants of the said statue. And yes, as you can see, New Gundam is sporting a new color scheme from the standard colors, mainly just the blue here in this case, and it's a really cool blue. It actually fits him really well. It's a nice change of pace for him. And as you can see, yes, he's not carrying his normal assortment of weapons in this case. Nope, he is carrying the new long-range fin funnel cannon weapon you see on his back right here, and it's really fun to play with because it gives us a whole new funnel weapon for him to utilize and such, as you can see, and it's really big. That is fact. It is really big, but it's so cool because, for one, it actually helps keep him standing if he is to fall over. But in other ways, of course, it's just cool to see a new funnel weapon and all that it can do, of course. Now, yes, this is an entry grade, so yes, if you were wondering, unfortunately, yes, it does still suffer from the standard entry grade flaws that we all know excuse me, that is out there, which in this case is sadly loose joints and such like that over time. Now, I have not had that issue, of course, yet with this entry grade because, well, the one known fact with the looseness is that it usually happens over time of play and such like that. So I haven't really had any major problems like that with it. The only thing I noticed with this, with my copy, I don't know if it's just that kind of deal, but I noticed the ball joints in the shoulder section here are a little loose, and this was just after assemblage, so I don't know if that's just, like I said, if it's just my copy kind of deal. Now, real quick, so let me take this off so it's out of the way for a second, so we can get a better look at him. And as you can see, the new decal on him looks really nice. It matches with his statue version, of course. The detailing on the Intrigrade is really nice. It gives you that standard, more anime style look. Because, I mean, we do have like the RG version of this, which is a really nice looking RG, don't get me wrong. But if you're more looking for something that has the more anime kind of design look, this would probably be one of the variants you'd want to look at then in this case. Now, if you're wondering, no, there aren't any high grade variations of the FF that you see here, only entry grade, ST, and as I just mentioned, RG, if you were wondering. Now, let's take a quick look, of course, into articulation. Now, as I already mentioned, the ball joint here is a little loose, but you still can go full 360, no problem. You can bend the arm about that far with the shoulder, of course, moving with it. The elbow can go about that far, no problem. Wrist is on a ball joint, simple and easy. As for the waist, torso area, you can actually got a good amount of articulation here. It's really cool and really fun to play with. For the waist, you can swivel it. You can't really turn it because it bumps into armor. Just heads up. Now, of course, you can lift it upwards to, of course, prove that problem, but that would only push the body out too much as well. So, yeah. Now, as for the head, you can do a good amount with it. Let's see. The only thing I noticed with mine is that this portion here, the white section, doesn't want to stay on the actual body. So you can see, you can definitely pull off some fun poses. You can do the full chicken look. Sorry. Full 360 with no problem. Up and down and so forth. And as for legs, now of course note this armor, it does not move, so yes, you can only go so far, but you can bend the leg about that far. You can go about that far, and with the armor out of the way, you can pretty much go as far as you want that way. And note, yes, it is an entry-grade skirt, so these technically are connected together when you take it out of the box. But if you were wondering, yes, you can separate it in the middle, so you can divide the skirts, so that way you can pull off more additional poses. And I honestly do recommend that as an option because it does look a lot cooler in that way, because then that way you don't have both skirts flipping forward when you're posing it and such. Just a little fun tip if you're really thinking of it. And as for the feet, you do have a fair amount of articulation there, as you can see. You can even stretch it downward if you want, and such like that. And as you can see, even without the funnel attachment, he does stand up pretty well. So as you can see, so you don't actually need this. It's just an option you can do with it. And speaking of options with this, yes, you can display this on the new Gundam in many different ways, actually. As you can see here, this is just one of the adapters you can use. One thing you do, of course, is detach this section. Let me put that down for 1 second. And by detaching the two halves of the funnel like this from this, and reattach it to this section here, to this form, it's now in a more open cannon form, pretty much the attack mode, so to speak, which you just slide back onto here, and now you can attack your enemies with ease. And if you're wondering, yes, you can attach this version as well onto the new Gundam using your different adapters, like you see with this one, which just plugs onto this side peg that you can add here, like such, and then you just attach it to this point right there, and click it in, of course, and there you go. You got an attack mode right there. And of course, if you didn't want that one, you have an arm attachment right here, which just slides onto this section here. Simple and easy. And just like before, you just attach it like that. And there you go. Simple and easy. And fun. Now, unfortunately, though, because this is the entry grade variation, and in this case, a special variation, you do not get any of the standard weapons the new Gundam would normally come with. And because it's also the entry grade, you still don't get the funnel parts or the bazooka weapon that the normal new Gundam would carry, unfortunately. But you can, however, if you happen to have an HD version of the new Gundam, you can, of course, remedy that by just taking the parts off there. And yes, you can attach them to this version if you want. And other than that, the only other extra accessories you will have is the standard holding hands right here that you just swap with the covers right there. And this part here, that would be in place of those peg sections I just showed you. So yeah, that's pretty much all of his accessories there, and so forth. And the special accessories, of course, besides what I've already shown you, is also the open hands you see with this specific version. None of the other, the only other entry grade new Gundam that I can think of does not come with any of these open hands. No, that's only this version here. So yeah, other than that, so yeah, this was a fun build, my friends, easy to do, and like most entry grades, yes, it has have its flaws, no lies, but it's a fun kit still for a lot of people, I say, and especially for like beginners, those who want something simpler, easy to customize, and so forth. It's definitely worth to check out if you're interested, or if you happen to be in this case like a new Gundam fan, you just like I gotta have them all. Well, you might want to pick this one up for fun. It's just like that kind of deal, friends. I know the entry grades are not perfect. I know this, but I still think they have a lot of potential. I do. Plus, this also helps with a lot of models and Gundams, yeah, that probably haven't seen a new kit in that many years, possibly get a release that maybe down the road kind of deal. And yeah, I mean, I'd love to see more entry grades of other Gundams too. I mean, like what we currently have was the Strike, the RX, and of course the new Gundam. I mean, yeah, I would totally love to see more other units, like maybe the Exia, maybe like I would say the Impulse, honestly, but we do have the RGs and stuff, so I'm not sure. But there are tons of other Gundams that can probably get an entry grade for fun. I think it would be cool. Maybe some grunts. I know a lot of fans would love to see some entry grade grunts, that's for sure. Well, we'll have to wait and see, my friends. So yes, real quick now, of course, we'll do some size comparisons with some other UC mobile suits in this case. Give me 1 sec. Now, first, of course, let's look at the first entry grade in this line, the entry grade Rx-78. And yes, as you can see, even for being the big brother kind of deal, the new Gundam definitely is much taller in both entry grade and, of course, in Gundam scale between these two variants. And it's really nice, though, to have these two together. It's awesome. Because if you know the UC story and such, you'll, of course, know these are Amuro Ray's, some of his best mobile suits, of course. And it's really cool to have them together. I really like that. It's really cool. Now, real quick, of course, though, since we're talking about the new Gundam, we, of course, have to compare them with the Sazabi. Now, yes, do note this is not the standard Sazabi that you would expect. This was a custom variant that I believe a third party or bootleg brand released many years ago that I picked up that long ago. But it's still one of my favorite Sazabis, even for the unique design. But I figured it's also the perfect Sazabi to, of course, display with our FF here because they're both unique in their own ways. And yes, if you are wondering, yes, there is an FF statue variant of the Sazabi as well. The only difference, of course, is there is no entry grade version or high grade. There is technically an RG version, which is just the standard RG with new backpack parts, if you were wondering. But yes, as you can see, even with the Sazabi, the new Gundam still lines up pretty well. Though now with the funnel parts here, it gets a little bit taller, so he finally outgrows the Sazabi, so to speak. So yes, that is it for today, my friends. And honestly, I could recommend this version with no problem because yes, this is a exclusive variant. So you're not going to find this normally unless you go through both to the actual locations where this is available, or like such events like the G-Base tours or anything like P-Band-Aid that come up every so often for a lot of fans, and hopefully will reach to global fans at some point, because I know a lot of friends that would love to see some G-Base exclusive stuff like that to be more available, and I do hope for that one day. So yes, that is it for today, my friends. I thank you always for coming. I hope you're all enjoying your hobby, of course, and I will gladly see you all next time.